record and we'll get started coming into your space and let's take a few moments to move around to let your arms move, let your wrists, your fingers move, shift your weight around and find a sigh. That can always feel really good. And my intention whenever we come together to practice is for you to feel comfortable in your space and to enjoy your practice, for it to be something that you're able to utilize to just function as optimally as you can. That's what I use it for. Well, let your feet kind of lift and sink back down, maybe shifting your weight, lifting each foot and sinking it down into the earth. And shift your body weight from side to side, finding a stance that feels comfortable to you. Maybe spreading your toes as much as they'll spread and sinking them back into the earth. And then come to a center place. Let your shoulders come up to your ears and relax down. I'm going to bring the hands to the dantian, just letting your hands rest in this area underneath of your navel. Feeling the bottoms of your feet sink into the earth and bringing your awareness to a few points, a few places in the body. The bubbling wellspring, the points in the bottom of each foot, sort of where the ball of the foot meets the arch, right between the second and third metatarsals. And pressing through that point on the bottom of each foot, this kidney acupressure point. And as you press through that point, the crown of your head extends upwards towards the heavens, the byway, kind of that crown chakra area. You can envision it drawing upward. You are this conduit, heaven and earth. Just breathing, seeing if as you kind of extend into these points, if you can envision a lengthening of your spine, softening of your shoulders, and a little more space within your joint. Notice your breath. Now we have the dantian, where your hands are resting, the center of energy, the lower heaven. And directly behind the dantian, sort of on the spine, is the Ming Men. It's kind of a spirit gate, sort of. It's another point, another acupressure area on the back of the body that encourages the energy to move up and down the spine, greater ease. And as you breathe, without forcing, just envision your breath drawing into this space of the dantian and the Ming Men, sort of this whole area, the low abdomen and the pelvic area, to your spine, to your lumbar spine, down into your sacrum, sacred bone, into your pelvis, the pelvic floor. Just allowing your breath to be slow and natural. Feeling expansion upon your inhale, and as you exhale, finding a little more relaxation, a little more softness, and places that you notice are tense throughout your body. The winter time is the time of the water element. The kidneys are the yin organ associated with water. And kidneys are said to mix the qi that we bring in, the qi, the air that we breathe, and the food that we eat, sort of holds on to those and mixes that qi with our original qi, the qi that we were born with. And this qi that we have throughout the course of our lives, and that will eventually run out, will eventually only have a certain amount. And so our practices are about strengthening and fortifying the qi that we have. And in the winter time, finding more rest, time to rest, time to kind of gestate creativity is very important. Taking another, maybe deeper inhale and then sighing it out. And we'll move. Let your wrists make circles and shift your weight from side to side. Let your fingers sway and you kind of make little figure eights even with your hands. Feel kind of good drawing little figure eights with your fingers. Take a big inhale and let it go. Smooth things out, shifting your weight from side to side. Let your heel lift and maybe your entire foot lift up off of the ground. It can feel nice to get that kind of movement after more of a standing meditation. Feeling the kind of openness, sense of openness through your joints, your knees, your ankles, hips. And then coming back to center, we're going to gather qi. So letting one hand draw out and around and back in. The other does the same. And just moving nice and slow. Kind of nurturing a sense of stability. Feeling safe and supported. When we think of the water element, I oftentimes think of streams, and waterfalls. Think of the ocean brings to mind water. Think of rain or snow. Think of thunderstorms. Do you envision springs popping out from the earth, rivers, maybe a pond or a lake? Do you see the banks of the earth supporting that body of water, or is it water that comes from the sky, like rain, or water that seems so big and all-encompassing, like the ocean? Taking whatever comes to you, whatever you think of. Maybe you think of a time when you were in the water, playing in water or walking on the beach. Water is our DNA, touches everything. The human body has the same percentage of water in it that the earth does. It's wild. You think of the map of a world map and you look at all of that blue. That's you. Oh, bring the hands to the dantian. Take another big inhale and let it go. I'm going to do a little gentle bouncing, bopping around a little from side to side. I'm starting this very softly. If it feels good, it can become a little more vigorous. That's fine. It always depends on how our shock absorbers feel about it, our knees. Just bouncing around. Maybe you turn a little. Maybe you add a little bit of a twist into your bopping around. You can feel your arms extend away from your body. Encouraging the flow of qi, releasing stagnation. Our qi is said to flow like water through the meridian, the channels of energy. And coming back to center, and rub your hands and get them nice and warm, and we'll do a little tapping. Let's start with the legs. I'm going to go down the outside of the legs and up the inside. I'm bending forward as far as feels good. And do this a few times. And so taking your time, especially getting into the hip flexors as you come back up, and maybe even giving a little bit more force to some of the meatier areas and gentleness to the knees. I just want to be really gentle with the knees, and even a little bit more force in that claw area, the hip flexors, and coming to the sides. I can really get my bum really good. I've got a nice solid bum coming down the legs, gentle with knees, all the way down and back up. And now we're going to take some loose fists. And from your dantian, you're going to come up to your navel and up to your solar plexus. And up to your heart. Gentle. Back down, breathing, making noises, sighing. A few things, we start to kind of question things. We say, why do I feel like I have to be quiet all the time? I feel a lot better if I just make some noise. Or why do I feel like I have to rush around to do anything valuable when resting is just as valuable? Back up again, kind of coming up, and notice if there's areas that feel a little tight. It's always my solar plexus. That always gets me. My heart feels pretty good. You might notice something different. Maybe your chest feels a little tighter. Maybe your belly feels tight. Your dantian area. We're going to do that maybe one more time. So just taking your time, gentle pummeling of that central channel coming up and back down. And now we're going to take the hands and we'll pummel the kidneys. So coming up and down either side of your spine with loose fists. There's this area in the center or in the end of the hand, the tiger's mouth, where the first finger meets the thumb. So just kind of letting your hands flop around a little and kind of hitting that, hitting the back, tigers with your tiger's mouth, kidneys. So in Chinese medicine, just as in Western medicine, the kidneys filter blood and, they have those kinds of functions. But again, they also are said to draw the qi from the food we eat, the air we breathe down and mingle it, mix it with our original qi we were born with. And come back. Now we're going to take tapping fingers and tap under the collarbones. Just a gentle tapping collarbones, and This is a great place to make some noise, especially if you're feeling congested at all. It's a great place to make a ha noise. What noise comes out of you? Don't judge it. Just let it happen. It could be whatever kind of noises you made in front of the fan as you talked into it as a child. And then it might make you laugh, make you smile, which of course increases endorphins. It makes life better. Playful. Good to do. And a pat from one shoulder down the arm, slow. We use our hands in so many different ways. And you have maybe this cupped hand, and you pat all the way down, and then you turn, pat back up, and maybe you use the flats of your fingers more. You use that cupped hand. We use loose fists. We use our tiger's mouth. So many. Cool. These are just a great tool, right? I'm gonna lift the arm and pat from the armpit down. Yep. And back up. And we'll do the other arm, but first shake that arm out, that one that you just patted, and shake your legs out. Okay, let's do that. And then we'll come to the other arm patting. So we're encouraging the flow of qi, we're encouraging the free flow of those rivers of energy. And as you breathe, you can even envision a river flowing freely, supported by the earth on either side, the banks of the river, the roots of trees. This water being supported by the earth, wood elements. Lift the arm and pat from your armpit down to your hip. And then take your hands and we'll tap the top of the head. Now we're using our fingertips. Even more ways to use the hands. Tapping the byway, the crown of the head. You can tap over your ears as well. Let your tapping fingers go wherever they want to go, to the back of your head. Tap your forehead a bit, maybe between the eyebrows, on the spirit point. Over to the temples. And then we'll brush down the neck. Just brushing down your neck. And shake things out and shake out that other arm. So give that other arm a little more of a shake. And come back to standing. And this time just stand with the arms at your side, finding a little bit of space between and within the armpit so that we're not tense, kind of relaxed and open. You can even envision that you're sort of like a bubble. You have the shape of a bubble. You're filled with air and open. And you breathing into all of this openness. Finding a smile, feeling the reverberation of that patting and tapping, self-massage. And now we'll gather the chi again. And gathering chi, feeling safe and secure. And fortifying yourself. Fortifying a sense of well-being and openness. Moving as though against gentle resistance. Now bringing your hands to your hips, find a little bit of a wider stance. We're going to find spinal rocking, letting your shoulders go to one side and then over to the other, very gently. So it's a very subtle movement, but what it does is it stimulates the Ming Men, sort of that gate, that spirit gate behind the Dantian, of encouraging circulation throughout your spine. So moving nice and slow, you can even kind of soften your eyes and just envision a space between each vertebrae, kind of a flowing movement, a softening movement. So it's very subtle, but just like water, that subtlety can make such a difference. Think of caves and caverns or canyons that have been washed away by water, rocks that have been smoothed by water. Remembering that things don't have to be forceful to be valuable. And in fact, when we find more gentle types of movement and practices, we really get into some of the depth within us. We're able to unlock some of the more tricky places in our bodies and our beings. You're just sort of feeling this rocking, and your hips could be doing whatever they're doing and rocking there. You have this space between each vertebrae, encouraging that space gently, breathing. We'll come back to center, and next we'll turn the moon. Let your arms come out like you're holding the moon between your hands. Hand goes up while the other goes down, getting as much of a lateral stretch in the spine as feels good. And the other side, nice and slow. Bringing awareness to your spine, kind of lying between your kidneys, the lower portion of your spine. And envisioning this space between each vertebrae coming all the way up. Come back to center and bring your hands down. We'll smooth things out just to get a stretch through the ankle. You might even lift your foot and sort of move it around. You're also strengthening your entire leg, strengthening each leg, feeling your weight sink onto your standing leg, feeling those muscles really engage and strengthen. Feeling your breath move and slow. Coming back to center, you're going to turn and look at the moon. So finding a twist in the spine, let your palms face each other, forming a ball. Relax your shoulders, and then turning and reaching your fingertips up. Working your way slowly back to center. Breathe naturally. And as you turn, finding this sort of spiral action from the bottoms of your feet all the way up your legs, your dantian, through your spine, all the way to the crown of your head, just envisioning this sort of spiral. And allow your movement to evolve, to change however it does. You've created this wonderful space between each vertebrae, and now you're encouraging that movement of energy through the spine. Spirals are very effective in Qigong and Tai Chi at encouraging the release of stagnation. Finally coming back to center. Your time getting there. There's never any rush. Let your palms face each other, shoulders relax, open and close. You're kind of envisioning yourself almost as a sea creature, like a jellyfish, seeing this expansion as you open, and this in-breath, and then this sort of drawing inward. Opening, feeling expansion, that kind of bubble sensation throughout your body. And then this release, drawing in. Notice how your breath evolves. Maybe it moves along with your hand. Maybe you smile into the breath. And finally allow the hands to press down. And we're going to smooth things out again, shifting your weight from side to side. Coming back to center. Now there's a point on the back of each wrist that's associated with the sanjiao, the triple burner, a fire element, organ that we can't really place as an organ like the heart or the kidney. Just sort of rubbing this area, just rubbing the whole back of your wrist with your flats of your fingers, and to the other side as well. And there has to be this balance between water and fire. They're sort of opposite ends of the spectrum. Water is kind of ultimate yin, and fire is ultimate yang. We have to have that balance to feel harmonized, right? Now you're going to take one of your hands and bring it to your back. We're finding that water gong that we find pretty often, but bringing your awareness to your wrist, sort of resting there on that low back, close to your kidneys and that Ming Men point. Taking your other hand, extending it out and reaching, drawing across your gaze, finding this water gong. You might widen your stance. You might dip down relatively low into this nice, cool, nourishing pool of water. So as you move in this gong, this being a yin element Qigong, so working with our energy. The kidneys or the yin organs associated with the water element. Yin being nourishing and nurturing. So as you dip down into some cool, clear water, you're envisioning nourishing the kidneys. Encouraging creativity. This will be the last scoop upwards, allowing your hand to scoop. And when you come to the top of your scoop, release your hand back down. Let that arm go and roll your shoulder a few times. Move your wrists and ankles. And we're going to clear the chi. So a little baby, bring down the heavens, palms face up, and then making circles with both hands. Do this a few times, nice and slow, noticing your breath and clearing away anything that's been processed. Because what happens as we practice is this idea that there's kind of stored tension in the body, which is where we find areas of stagnation through those rivers of energy. And as we practice, we're able to kind of process, release those areas of tension and process them, and release their byproducts. Let go of that tension, but we have to process it. And that's the idea behind why it's there to begin with, is because we haven't processed. Truly inner alchemy. That tension can be held in the joints, and especially that's oftentimes where we find it, or maybe we just feel weird inflammation in different places in our bodies. Could be some trapped heat, so we're kind of balancing that fire element, water element. And we're going to rub the back of the wrists one more time, both of them, just kind of rubbing them with the flats of your fingers, simulating this triple burner point, back of each wrist. And now we'll find the other side. So letting your arm rest behind you and kind of making contact with the back of the wrist and that Ming Men point, the back of your hand across your kidney area, or however far it reaches. Sending your arm, drawing across, and scooping. Nurturing creativity and possibility. Finding value in downtime and resting. That's something that's hard to do in our culture because we're taught by our culture that if we're not working very hard to exhaustion, that we're not doing something worthwhile. And that's a cultural thing. That's not a truth. Culture. You have to have a balance. You're balancing, you're nourishing and nurturing that creativity within yourself, the potential within yourself. What happens when we go too much is we can suffer from kind of adrenal fatigue and wake up in the morning with a lot of thoughts, and then we can feel exhausted by midday or have to utilize lots of caffeine to keep us going. Nothing wrong with caffeine. I like caffeine a lot. But we want to come from a place not of that adrenaline necessarily, but of a really deeper nourishment. Now, scoop one last time. And then let that arm come down. Release your other arm, shake it out. Shake out your arms, shake out your legs. Reestablish a stance and clear the chi again. Nice gentle movements, clearing the chi. Another nice movement for our spinal flexibility is our bear emerges in movement. And so bringing your arms up into cactus arms, making loose fists, open up your chest, and then round forward. Really nice right about now. Opening up and rounding. Move always within your range of emotion and in ways that feel good to you because we're all different. And I would say that, we all have our injuries, our patterns, and situations within our bodies, and ways that we just, forever, whatever reason, don't care to move. But seeing if you can find spaciousness and find your breath. Have one last time. Now let your arms come down. Shake things out. We're going to find a bow stance. So turning one direction. And you're going to let one foot be forward, the other foot kind of at an angle. And bring your hands to your hips. And noticing if your hips are pointing forward, straight ahead. And noticing shifting your weight from front to back. Let your shoulders soften. You're going to push through grass. Your palms come in front of you, pressing forward and then bringing your arms around. Pushing through grass, nice and slow. Feel free to make adjustments in your stance, in your movement. Deep bend in your elbow. Feel sort of a softness, even a little extension of your fingers forward as you come forward. Moving as though against gentle resistance. nurturing our creativity and our potential. It's like we're nurturing those seeds uh, that came from the metal element in the autumn. When the fruit releases the seeds, it dies back. Those seeds resting in the earth, finding this sense of nourishment, being able to release their creativity, release all of that potential when the springtime comes. All of that information, like ourselves, we hold all of this amazing information in our DNA and our genetics. It's no accident that you are here. One more time, pushing forward and bring the arms back, let the hands come down and move through center to the other side, nice and slow. Bring your hands to your hips, feeling your hips facing forward and just making sure you feel stable. In order to really nourish ourselves, we have to feel safe. And then letting your hands come out in front, pushing through grass. Nice and slow, and keeping that nice tall spine. Maybe feeling your fingertips extend at the very end, but keeping a bend, a softness in your elbow. Nurturing your creativity and potential, and your ability to do and to grow that comes from that place of nourishment rather than a place of adrenaline and cortisol. Important to have a balance between the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And our practice is encouraging that. Arms come around and back down. Come to center. Move your wrists and ankles. You flick your fingers, that can feel good. Reroot into the earth. And we'll bring down the heavens, palms face up, reaching up as you inhale, exhaling down the front of your body, and grounding, balancing. One more time, reaching up. And drawing down. Let one hand rest on your dantian, the other over your heart. Allow your eyes to soften. Feel your breath and your heartbeat. And imagine again that body of water, whatever it is, there's no right or wrong. What comes to your mind, the river, the ocean, the babbling brook, rain, the lake or pond. Bring that water to mind. and smile into that water. Maybe you touch the water. Maybe as you smile into the water, you can feel the water smiling back at you. Be it a waterfall or a stream, snow or rain. Knowing that as you smile into that water, you're smiling into yourself as well. Offering yourself kindness and compassion, peace and love, and those components flow through you into each interaction. Inhale, and let it go. Your arms come down, step your feet together, the right fist strength, the left hand friendship, palms drawn inward, humility, together, respect. Thank you so much for your practice today. Honored to get to be with you, to practice with you.